Okay, so we're going to try something a little bit different today. I'm doing a Yoppsicle upgrade. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Yoppsicle. Basically, kind of doing a little bit of a tutorial here because these are pretty easy. As long as you have very basic soldering skills, you can do this job. But what's going on? This is the bottom of a 1980 Stern Galaxy. So I just flip it over. I put a pad on this end of the table so that way it doesn't get scratched. Just be very gentle with it. So basically what you're doing is you are getting rid, you have two different types of bulbs categories, so to speak, on a pinball machine. You have your GI lights, general illumination. Those are the ones that go all the way through, and they are always on. So for instance, like this right here, that's a GI bulb because the socket's actually in the play field and the bulb's sticking out the other side. So you're gonna have those. Let's see, the board being upside down throws me off as I almost fall over. So yeah, even this one's considered, it's sticking out a little bit, but it's in one of the slings. So those are even GI bulbs right there. But the other ones are called controlled. They are the ones that are only on temporarily. They each have their own individual activation wire, trigger wire, however you want to call it. So those sockets just get old, dirty, and you just find yourself tweaking them and just kind of messing with the bulb all the time. So your ×2 will light up or whatever it is. Just doesn't want to work. So what these do, this is just a whole sheet that I got, a 50 sheet. These are cool white. They also do come in red and green. I haven't tried those yet because since I found out about colored ones, they've been sold out. These are cold white. I do have some warm whites as well. Warm whites were in my Lost World, and I took those out and I did cool whites. And honestly, even the cool whites in my Lost World still have a tannish kind of eggshell color to them. But that play field is pretty rough, and I have a NOS play field that's being clear coated right now. So I'm anxious to see what if they look a little bit more on the white side with the NOS playfield. New old stock. It's brand new, but it's from like 1977. So this one, as you can see, I've already started on because I had a 50 pack from Lost World, and it only needed like 37, I think. So I had some left over. Also, I went ahead and if it was a yellow insert, I went ahead and just used warm white. I mean, there's no reason to, a little bit of an orangish tan color behind an orange insert is going to be just fine. Like all these are yellow insert. Whenever I'm saying insert, just so you know, I'm talking about the actual plastic, and that's the plastic that you see on the other side of the playfield where you have those little round holes that light up. So, but these are all, let's see if I can zoom in here. Switched. Yeah, so it's upside down, but you can see that actually says warm white. And that's, I did those in the yellows, just kind of go ahead and use them up because I got a ton of the warm whites laying around. So, but I figured I found a spot where I can prop my phone up here and give you a decent view of what I'm going to be doing. So we're going to be working on that green insert right there. If I can get this to move over just a little bit. That may be the best you get. Okay, so actually on these, this wire down here, that's actually your positive, is this bare wire that's running around. And these all have a single, this is your negative trigger wire. So a little bit backwards, or however you want to say it, from like the car world or whatever. But that's what we're working with here. So on the sheet of 50 LEDs that I have, you just kind of pop out a row here. I can't see what I'm doing, but trust me, it's what I'm doing. So I just, those fell a little bit, but not all the way to the floor. So now I just got this little stick here. Just gonna pop one of those off. Now I've got just left with this little guy. Little note, this is the side that you will see during the install. That little dot right there, that little dot is where the LED is located on the other side. So that's the dot that you want to get centered on the insert. So I'm just going to set this down out of the way. First thing you need to do, well, find your Phillips head screwdriver, wherever move stuff around here. So, you know, if you're not, you know, very, I don't know, confident about this, you can just do one at a time. That way you're not going to mess up. So all I did was I took out that one screw right there, set it off to the side. A lot of times, because really what you got to worry about is this negative switch wire, not putting it on a different location. So they usually don't reach too many at a time. So as long as you're kind of doing a straight row, I've done, you know, 10 at a time, just taking out all the screws, taking all out, because it'll really only reach as one socket, or if you try to go to another socket, it'll be way too tight. So at that point, grab your soldering iron. I really like the Hakko brand, Hakko. This is just a little pen that doesn't have a separate base to it. It's just a wire. Normally I use like the FX, that's like the 888D or something like that is on my my workbench. Oh, come on, you're just there. So that's what I use for work and everything like that. This is just a little pin, so I don't have a separate base. So all we're going to do is this wire is soldered right in that corner. I'm going to just hold the top, get this hot, sinks in there, and then just slide that right off. So now obviously that metal right there is now hot, so you don't want to touch it. So I just kind of fold it over so I can grab the bulb. So now that I have the bulb, we just need to get this negative wire off. And there you go. The old one is now removed. That's simple. So a little bit out of order here with the next one. This is the back that you're actually going to see during the install of the new Yoppsicle. Get my fat fingers in here. So you got this. Basically, it's just a large oval, so that way you can adjust where the LED sits. So first thing you want to do is just put your screw back in. Get it started. Okay, so now I'm just lining up that dot so it's right in the middle of the, I mean, it probably doesn't have to be perfect, but obviously just, you know, get as close as you can and then just snug up that wire. So get your Phillips out of the way. We're done with that. Get your solder out. So right there, you can see that little pad. That is where our trigger wire goes. So we're just going to go ahead and tin that. Just put a nice little, put a little bob on there. Grab your wire. You're just going to let that sit for a couple seconds. Make sure it's tight. There you go. Kind of hard to. We got a little bit. So much stuff in the way, and I'm trying to prop this up. So, okay. So you can see it over here, but that's the wire that I just soldered on from the socket. So now you just need to do same thing again, just with this little piece right here. What I do first is kind of get a blob going on again. Same thing as last time. Obviously, you kind of don't want to solder it down to the screw, but I've seen a lot of solder on a screw before, and it still comes right back out. So now I'm just going to take my Phillips here and just push on the wire a little bit, get the solder hot again, and just push it down into the solder. Give that a couple seconds. You'll kind of see it go from a chrome to just a gray. And that is now on there. I mean, it doesn't have to be the most beautiful thing in the world or whatever. I mean, you're just soldering a wire on there, but as you can see, that's all I did. Just, you can solder it onto anywhere on that whole like octagon, whatever, for the nut. You just got to put it on there, and then the negative, you know, comes out, goes into the bundle of wires with everything else. But that is it. And you can see that one actually says cool white on there, Yoppsicle. But that's all it is, all there is to it. Galaxy does have about, I think it was like 48, you know, on here by the time you count them all up. But again, this is just inserts. I really wish they would come out with something like this for the GI bulbs. I mean, it's just such a cleaner design. You know, never have to worry about it again. So I've been trying to find something. If you know of something, let me know. But I have a feeling on Lost World for all my GI ones, I'm just going to end up doing, you know, factory original sockets. Not a big deal. You know, they're like $1 each or something. But I figured the original sockets lasted 40-something years, 45 years, something like that. So I'm sure if I just did new original factory ones, they'll be good. But that's it. I got probably about 20 more of these to do. And as far as Yoppsicles goes, these will be done. So this would be like maybe a spot where you could do, obviously do a red one there. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be red or orange in that one, but, you know, I have to do all those still. One part I thought about doing, I don't know if it'll work because it's a GI bulb, but like on these rollovers, you always end up with a dark line where that is, and I haven't found a good, you know, good answer for that, so you don't have a dark line where the switch is. So what I've kind of thought about doing is almost do like a V, you know, and put 2 Yoppsicles, one going on each side of it to where it's just shining the outside edges and try to get it down in there. It is a GI bulb, and then I'd have to do a jumper wire, but just something I'm thinking about toying with on these, the rollover, because this game has like 4 or 5 rollovers, but that would be cool if they did a, maybe I just need to find it, but if they did some type of bulb, where the bulb, even if the bulb was a ring, like a donut or something, it would still have a dark line. I don't know. So I'm almost thinking just one on each side would be the best way to try to shine in from the left and right of that switch and get both of them. So just a little idea. But I just figured this game is getting some love before I get the playfield back for Lost World, because once I get it, you know, I'm going to be trying to completely restore Lost World. So I need to rebuild the flippers on this. I mean, they work fine, but, you know, it needs bushings and plungers, that fun stuff. Just kind of do a basic rebuild on all this stuff. But that's it for today. Have any questions, let me know.